had become an ungainly hodgepodge of trailer parks, rusty boarding houses, old homes with charm but limited sanitary facilities, and even tents. The wartime housing shortage worsened with the conclusion of the war, as veterans anxious about post-war conditions returned to communities already stretched to their limits. The war brought economic recovery, yet the fruits of recovery were unevenly enjoyed. The defense program's stimulation of the Southern economy did not end discriminatory hiring practices. African Americans did not reap the economic benefits within the arsenal for democracy, suffering discrimination within industry, the military, government training programs, and labor unions. Those blacks able to secure employment in defense industries worked in segregated crews and were relegated to the least desirable, lowest paying jobs. In New Orleans, for example, the Brotherhood of Boilermakers, iron shipbuilders, and helpers of America monopolized the high-paying welding jobs for whites. In 1940, Eli W. Collins, director of unemployment compensation of the Arkansas Department of Labor, informed the participants in the Little Rock Interracial Conference on the employment problems of Negroes that the black worker did not need training in the fields of competition, but in those areas in which he is traditionally accepted: domestic, custodial, and agricultural work. Employers often went to extremes to exclude blacks from defense jobs. Faced with a shortage of white workers, industrialists in Florida and Alabama refused to hire local blacks and instead used salary inducements to lure white workers from Mississippi. Within the military, African American men fighting in war to protect democratic ideals overseas served in segregated units where they were regularly mistreated. Tempers flared daily on Southern military training bases and in Southern communities as minor confrontations between white and black soldiers threatened to escalate into larger racial conflagrations. They often did. In 1944, black troops and white MPs staged a 2-hour shootout at Mobile's Brookley Field. While that same year at Louisiana's Camp Claiborne, 14 black GIs received courts-martial for riot and mutiny after they stampeded through the camp, discharging their weapons and attacking white officers and MPs. Their leader, Private Leroy McGarry, was sentenced to death. Angered by the exclusion of African Americans from industry and the discriminatory treatment of black soldiers, and frustrated by federal officials' willingness to turn a blind eye to these abuses, African American leaders pressured the Roosevelt administration to recognize and address black needs and demands.